So I actually fell asleep.
And partying your face off.
It's a lifestyle, unfortunately.
There should be 2 separate clips. There was the pause from when I took the phone call, which should finish up that, but it should be that one and then this one.
All right, well, let's go ahead and say welcome to Simon Says Bet, guys.
Simon Says Pizza in Your Mouth.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by Sapienza Pizzeria in Charlotte, North Carolina. Please, guys, if you're ever in the Uptown Charlotte area, check out Sapienza Pizzeria off the corner of Church and 9th.
I tried to pronounce that name 5,000 times, and if you gave me $1,000 on the table right now, I would have never came up with that to call it that.
Well, there you go. And here is my advertising voice.
And future sponsors, I would write a much better read for him.
Oh, absolutely. I just kind of made it up. But
it was good. It was
actually,
good off the top of your head. That was good.
The only reason I even said it is because I'm actually literally eating Sapienza pizza right now. It's delicious. I didn't even say a word to them. I just wanted to give them a plug because it is fucking delicious pizza. But
we have Josh Guns Ablazing with us.
What's going on? Josh is sweating his ass off in here today. It's
fucking hotter than Hades.
At World on Friday night. It's hot in here.
No. First off, nothing could be hotter than World for Armin van Buuren. Oh my God! Can we take a quick pause?
But we're going to get sidetracked. I'm going to jump ahead.
No. I'm just going to say
for 60 seconds. This needs 60 seconds.
But for everybody who's out there, just to get you in the mind, the sweaty birth Danny DeVito gif is where you need to start at to where how you think how hot this actually is.
All right, 60 seconds. Go.
So everyone that was there and anyone that wasn't there, the World Nightclub has about 2,500 people that can be fit into this club. And Armin van Buuren, who's one of the biggest DJs in the world,
killed it, by the way.
Crushed it. He was headlining there on Friday night, so we all bought tickets. Everyone paid like $100 for these tickets. Like they were expensive tickets, VIP table, whatever. General admission was like $50. Anyways, the least these motherfuckers could have done is send a mass email to be like, "Yo,
put some fans in the corner."
Yeah, like the AC broke in the fucking building. And
98 degrees before we even walk in there.
So World Nightclub is built inside of basically an old textile where the music factory is. They call it the music factory because it used to be a fucking textile factory. There's no ventilation, no nothing. It was literally between the molly, the cocaine, the music, the heat, and the amount of people in there. The walls were sweating. The floors were sweating. The bottles of liquor were sweating. My friend was bartending there. She couldn't even grab a bottle without that bitch slipping out of her fucking hand.
60 seconds.
That was 60 seconds. And guys, next time that ever happens, email your people. I would have fucking canceled my tickets. I had a great time. The music was dope. But fuck. Oh my God. I was miserable for that.
But you know it was ice cold? The game last night. The Blues, Bruins.
Nice.
Overtime. You know, Blues get down early. You know, I was even
pay attention
text.
to that transition, John.
I was even sending a text to one of my boys. I said, if they don't get a goal here this game, the series is over. You know, I know St. Louis, you know, they're going home, and it's not been a series until you win on the other court or ice. I get that, but the momentum you just see just getting sucked out. But they got the goal and, you know, tied it up, went to OT, and I mean, what a game. You know, Bennington's really, you know, stepping up in my opinion. Bruins were a huge favorite going into the game. I mean, one of the biggest as far as the playoffs so far this year. You know, as we've gotten into later rounds, it closed around the Blues were plus 150 and the Bruins were minus 170. I was on the Blues plus 150, by the way. And it was just, I was surprised for a game like that. You know, you don't think that's a big number, but, you know, it's supposed to be the two best teams. That was surprising to me. So, great game.
Yeah, I got the tail end of that game. I got OT, and first of all, I can't even believe it went to OT. But I mean, that
happens in playoff hockey.
It does a lot. I know. And nothing's better than playoff OT hockey in any sport generally. If you ask me, like nothing's more exciting than Game 7 OT playoff hockey of any kind. You're just watching men go out there giving their all.
You do that on the streets, you're going to jail for assault. Some of these plays out there, it's just it's unreal, man. They're just, it's crazy. You know, and I think what also is crazy is, you know, as you think, you know, in these bigger games, you know, you think you're tight down at first. There's maybe not as much scoring. Everyone's playing a little bit tighter, but you know, all 4 goals until overtime were scored in the first period. And that's surprising to me as well. You know, you think with Bennington and Rask playing like how they were, that was, you know, clearly they adjusted in the second, third period. So, you know, that was good to see. But
that just ramps up the tension when you have 4 goals scored that early and then nothing for 40 minutes and you go into overtime and everybody knows my mistake is going to cost our team.
Especially in hockey.
Yes.
In hockey, all sports. So, quick question for the game, for the series returning to St. Louis. St. Louis.
Did they blue use?
Anyways, for the series
Josh
returning
isn't here.
I know he's not. So, was the series returning to St. Louis? What's the line for Game 3?
It's kind of about what I expected. Going back home, I thought the Blues would be a slight favorite. Blues are opened up -120 on the money line. Bruins at even. The goals down to 5 for the total. And that's it's about where I expect. I mean, you have 6 in the first game. You have 5 in the second game. So I personally don't see why they don't stay at 5.5 there. So maybe there is a little value on the over.
I like Blues under.
Yeah,
that's me. I like Blues under. That's why I would.
Well, they're definitely not going to be feeling the pressure because since they got the one on the road, I think as long as we get one split at home, they feel good about taking 2 of the last 3. But Boston has to win. They have to win.
I agree there. I think, Boston hadn't lost a game in
first round? Since the first round, maybe?
It's been 6 or 7 games. So, I mean, to take the momentum off of that's huge for St. Louis. And they're playing with house money. No one expected them to be there. I mean, we've seen the tickets of 100 to 1, and that's another great. Would love to get your guys' opinion on this. So there's a guy. I'm not going to get the story right, but I'll get the main numbers right. Basically, was in Vegas, lifelong St. Louis Blues fan, put $200 to $400 on the Blues at 100-ish to 1. Long story short, dude, sitting there with if they win, a gigantic cash. I mean, that's a life change. I mean, you're talking. That's a lot of money there. So the big debate a lot of people are having is there's an app now, and I don't know off the top of my head the name, so I don't want to butcher it, where you can sell those tickets. So when you have such a big future like that, where you're making that initial, Jere, what's 200 at 101? That's 200,000.
200,000, right?
Yeah, 200,000. So it was a big number. I know it was 50K plus. I want to say it was 100,000 was the number. I know you're right on the math.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
20.
the number of the ticket. I want to say it was. I'm almost positive it was 100,000. That was an interesting debate. I personally would lock in a profit because people are like, well, he can just hedge and hit the Bruins. I'm like, it was 100,000 because I was like, who has $40,000?
No one had 40 grand to hedge.
That's it. So using the app, the thing like that to sell a ticket, that's interesting.
The best example I have of something like that happening to me, back in 2016 when NBA 2K16 came out, when you did story mode. If you pick the right, there was a story mode in that game. So you start out as a rookie and you come in, yada yada yada. You sign with a different sneaker company, and yada yada yada. If you pick the right direction, I didn't even know this was going to happen. You got the opportunity to buy a limited edition LeBron James sneaker. It was the LeBron 9 or LeBron 10, I do believe, and they're only going to make two. Excuse me, it was NBA 2K14. So they only made 214 pairs of the shoe. So it only is going to 214 2014 people that played this game and did whatever. You got the chance to do it. So I bought the shoe. I was like, fuck yeah. 2014 only pairs, whatever. So the ticket for that shoe was selling for $3,000 on eBay because they're like, this is going to be one of the most limited shoes ever. It's LeBron. Sell the ticket. I didn't
sell eBay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So for me, I'm like, wait, but if the shoe's dope and there's only 2014 of these, there's going to be one of the most rare sneakers ever. I'm going to have it. So
the look in his face, y'all can't see it, but you could just see his puppy.
The shoe wasn't dope.
The shoe is arguably one of the most hideous shoes I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. It has leopard print on it. Okay, it's red with leopard print. Easily one of the most hideous shoes I have ever seen. I'm a sneaker guy. I collect, I buy, I sell. So I went from being able to make potentially $3,000 off just selling the fucking ticket.
For a ticket, not even having shoes.
Not having a shoe.
So it's just having a ticket.
Just ticket in hand to be able the opportunity to have the shoe. Didn't sell it, thinking, who knows, maybe it might sell for $5,000. Wrong.
Well, see, this is
the shoe sells for $400 now.
I do want to get those numbers right. It was 100K to win 100K. He put 400 at 250 to 1.
250 to 1, yeah.
250 to 1.
So one of the things that was going on in 2016, I thought you were going to tell the real story when Leicester City went off at 400 to 1 to win the to win the EPL in April. March. In March, it looked like they were leading by about 6 or 7 points. It looked like they had a better than average chance, and the payoff for many of these people was about 120,000 or so. And they were the gambling houses were offering to buy back those for like 20,000, 25,000.
Because they're going to lose their dick if they didn't.
Well, but the thing is, it's like you're still 10 games out. Tottenham, I think, ended up only losing the entire the EPL by like 2 points, 3 points. So there was still the likelihood that you don't believe in this team, that they can't do it, that they're going to fade under pressure. There's still like 10 games to where it's like each week you're watching the potential of you getting that money is a set thing, but what you could have in your hand just starts drifting away and away and away. So, but some people did. So about a third of the people did sell out for like the 30 cents on the dollar.
Well, then it becomes, when to hedge, because like you were just saying, you're not going to get that direct value if you wait to the end. Same with the Blues fans, you're not going to get that direct value. And it's funny you brought that up. I was listening to VEASAN the other day, and they were saying like that, them winning and their odds, and that changed the landscape, because it was like, I heard that the odds were compared to like it snowing on Christmas and like Kim K becoming president or something ridiculous. That's how crazy the odds were. And it used to be Vegas who set those odds, and just people just throwing money because they're not going to hit. Well, when one hits, like you were just saying, they're trying to buy back because something like that can affect. I mean, they have, most books haven't had losing years or losing months and years, but that changed the landscape of some of those gigantic odds.
Who was it? It was Alabama Clemson this past year. Vegas lost their asses off because of what happened with that game, from what I remember, with the national championship.
I don't remember vividly either way.
I don't know, because it's like I think whatever the spread would be isn't to the point
Clemson
that so much
+7
money.
And I won.
Yeah, but they went. I'm aware that they won by 28. 28. Bama
I was
fans,
hating on the shirt. Not,
2-8.
Okay, on Bama fans.
Yeah, this is Bama fans. This isn't about you. 28, which would be twice as much as Nick Saban had lost to any other team before, which had happened twice. So the two second and third worst loss were equal to the first worst.
Why'd
loss.
I bring that up?
So I don't know if you guys caught this today, but Cousins will be active tonight. I didn't see anything.
He's active tonight?
He's
totally
going to
be
active
play.
tonight.
So wait, what's the line for that game?
Well, I have a line from earlier today.
Let's go back to one thing. Is like, yes, everybody thinks that the Toronto over Milwaukee was a big upset, but if you did happen to ferret through the John and I only podcast, which I don't know why you would want to, because it's just the two of us yammering at each other, I did say Toronto's only chance would be if they put Kawhi on Giannis and had him defend him the entire game, and apparently that happened in games 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, he called on the last. I think that was.
However, John's been correct on picking almost every game, though.
I have been. I've been.
Do we have updated
even against
numbers?
yourself.
By the way, do we have updated numbers?
I've been keeping track.
Spread?
I've been money. I've been legit money on these picks. By the way, also on top of that, I want to say one other thing. It wasn't just It wasn't just Kawhi Leonard guarding, but them
everything changed.
Them throwing the wall at him, almost kind of like what the Spurs did to LeBron when they first played each other back in 2005.
And what Boston did against them in Game 1 when they beat Milwaukee.
They threw the wall at Giannis, and Giannis didn't know what to do. He was young.
I disagree. He did know what to do. They were not hitting shots the way that Middleton and Bledsoe and Mitrovic were not hitting shots the way that they had in Lopez. None of those guys hit. It's like Houston in Game 7 against Golden State last year. They were 1 for 27 from three-point range and missed their last 14 or 16. If they made two of those.
They missed 27 straight.
27 straight. If they made just 2 3-pointers in those 27 shots, they could have won the game.
So wait, what's the line for tonight's game?
There's been no movement. Honestly, I didn't
No movement, even with Cousins' announcement?
No, I didn't.
Because that hurts their defense more when he plays.
Exactly.
No, just Cousins hasn't done enough to be warrant of a movement. So, I mean, think about a half point. I know it sounds so small, but a half point, like that's...
Is he coming off the bench?
As of right now, there is no details.
I love how everyone's like.
I personally think I think he's just doing it to throw him off.
I love how everyone's like, Durant's traveling with the team. Like, of course he's going to dress and travel with them. Why wouldn't he? He's fucking on the team. He's going to be there.
When you say dress, you mean in a suit?
No. He's like, no. That's what I meant. Like, people are like, he's traveling with the. Or like, Durant's traveling. He's going to play. He's not playing.
Well, that's because
I don't think Durant plays at all.
Kyrie didn't travel last year. That's why.
Kyrie's a bitch.
Inadvertently avoided your question. What do you think the line is?
I think it's Toronto.
That's why they're equating with Durant, wondering why he.
I think it's Toronto -2.
-1.5, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing too. I've seen this.
I'm taking Toronto.
So weird.
I think Toronto. I think Golden State coming off the long break, plus Toronto being at home.
Did Klay Thompson cleanse themselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
I genuinely think Toronto wins this game, and I think home court and the long break is going to hurt the Warriors.
But see, this is something. This is one thing that's kind of funny about the books. I'm looking at two different sites, and one says the opening line is -2.5. Then it says it's current -1.5. Another site says the minus is, or it opened up at Warriors -1. So,
well, this is where if you're playing the game, so to speak, this is where you can make the multiple bets. If you think it's going to be a 2-point game one way, you can cover yourself and possibly win multiple ways on this.
Honestly,
I don't know why you'd want to, because it's kind of weird with.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't. Yeah, no. See, a game like this is weird to me. I mean, I got a couple friendly bets with some friends, but I wouldn't put serious money in this game because it can go either way. I mean, gun to head, of course, I'm taking the Warriors. I mean, that's who I took in a friendly bet with a friend. I actually loved the under when it came out at 215. That has since moved to 213.5. I had a lot of really good research on that. That did not bring with me on why I liked that under. But no, I mean, that would definitely be my takeaway from that game. I would go under. I think I'd say buy price of 214, and then I'd go Golden State. I mean, because a point's a pick 'em. I mean, yes,
yes, it is.
It's I'd take plus a point, and I would take money line, because when you in a game like that could be that close. I mean, you're talking 5 to 10 cent difference.
What was the over under again, please?
It opened at 215.
Yeah, I agree with the under. I mean, Milwaukee only scored over 100 points twice against Toronto, and one of those was the double overtime game.
Right.
And Toronto's defense will travel, and if they're going to win, they're going to win in the 90s. I don't know that they can beat them in the 110s and 115s. And I don't know that
I agree with that.
I'm going to stick with. I said Milwaukee would win the series because the conference with the best record wins 82-38% of the time. So that means I'm stuck with Toronto. So I'm going to go with that.
Right.
But the first game though with Golden State, I mean, this is where Steph Curry and Klay Thompson goes like, "Hey guys, we're here because of us." And we win these games because we're supposed to, and we have to. But I still don't know if that means that I don't know how that'll affect the rest of the series.
Well, and it's funny you bringing up the double overtime or the overtime game.
It was double overtime.
It was double overtime. I was listening to Straight Out Vegas podcast with RJ Bell, and that's one thing they were saying on the Bucks Raptors why they like the under. Because the under just kept on going down throughout the series because it was cashing. But, money was still coming in on the over. So then game, was it 6? It went 6, right? Yeah. It started at 212.5, and that's what they were saying. They broke it down to where, like, okay, take out the double overtime game, this number should be a lot lower. That game was an outlier, and, that's where you can get advantages on the books, like they were saying on Straight Out Vegas, is by, looking, okay, was this overtime?
Yeah.
Was it – because that's being calculated in the
algorithm.
algorithm.
Average, yeah.
So wait,
because I think
John, you've missed a lot of
because
smartness
185
going on right here.
Because I think 185 points is what it was for the total, which is like 30 points almost under.
The over-under in this game is what, 215? I'm assuming.
He heard us.
I did not.
It opened at 2. No, I was just saying it opened at 215, and that was definitely my favorite play. And then it went down to 213.5, bouncing around now.
I still like the under.
I like the over.
I do too.
I like the over. I like Toronto and I like the over.
I like Golden State in the under. I like Golden State in the under.
I think if you like Toronto, I think it has to be the under. If you like the over, I think it's Golden State winning by like 20.
If you look at the previous games when they played this 2 years, granted, game 1 Kawhi didn't play, and I do believe game 2 I think Curry didn't play, but I'm not entirely sure.
No, it was
Durant didn't play.
Durant didn't play in the first, and
Kawhi didn't play game 2.
The second.
But both those games were in the 120s.
No,
one of them.
One of them.
One
was.
of them
the other
was
was in
the
the 90s.
I like the. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do. Today is what? May 29th?
It's game 1, May 30th. It's game 1 of the series.
Now I do want to disclaim, although these are the sides in total I like, I wouldn't take big bets on any of these. I would, I have like I said earlier, I have a friend with a bet with a couple friends, but games this close. I mean, you're not getting an advantage. If there is an advantage, like I said, I do think it could be the under, and that's where you make money is. When you think about it, you got to beat Vegas. That's how you make money in gambling is by beating the line that's set. And that's interesting to me.
And Vegas exists because you don't beat.
So
them.
You like Golden? Exactly. You like Golden State at +1.5? Are you buying a point or no?
No, it's -1. Golden State's
it's down to -1
right
now?
Yeah, they're dog right now.
So Toronto's is -1 or +1. I mean.
Yeah, I think an interesting angle on the Cousins thing is too, and why I don't think it had any point value, because we don't know what to expect. Kerr could just simply be doing it because we're talking about it right now. So Toronto's like, Cousins is playing. I think it could be more of a.
He affects them defensively more than anything. He actually.
But I think one of the things that
the defensive net rating plummets when he's on the court.
It does, but I think one of the other reasons why they're not moving it is one that you think that it's a psychological make them think about it thing by Kerr. But the other thing is the more that Cousins is on the court, the more that keeps Marc Gasol on the court without being a mismatch by Looney. And again, I don't think that that's a mismatch in Golden State's favor just because he's more athletic and he can run better. I think once they get into a half court, Marc Gasol is, even if he's out on the wing, is a better defender on the wing than Looney is a wing player. But the more that Cousins is on the court, the more it makes it easier for Gasol to be on the court. And Gasol, I like Gasol. I like Gasol in that matchup. I mean, because Cousins isn't healthy.
From that standpoint, I agree. But Gasol's numbers right now are
terrible.
They are not good. They are not good at all. So
But he's the one guy that I would say outside of Kawhi, but Kawhi, everything he does is numbers. Gasol's the one guy on the court that can actually benefit that team without actually doing anything, because he sees the next pass. He'll slide over on the defense. He can alter a shot, and you won't see any of that, as opposed to most of the other guys who actually have to have a much more impact of the game. But again, he's just old, and he can't do the things that he did 3 years ago. But I just think that this is he's an internationally successful basketball player. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. This is his first shot in the finals. He's going to show up.
Marc Gasol, you said?
Yeah.
The funny thing is I'm actually ordering food from that place across the street that John just advertised.
Sapienza is really good, man. That's some delicious fucking pizza.
But I will say, and
you. So wait, Jerry, you like Warriors?
I under because I just think this is the game that Golden State wins. This is the game that as the momentum is starting to pick up on the Toronto side, and still for the most part, I think everybody still has Golden State. This is still the game. This would be the time for Golden State to say, no, we win these games, especially Curry and Thompson and Draymond without Durant and without Cousins. We're the guys that did this, and this will be the one that they get, and then everybody will be completely on. Oh, Golden State's going to win the whole thing, and then all of a sudden Toronto wins the next four.
And I do think you hit it there. I think they want it because they're not with Durant right now. And, I think that goes back to team chemistry, and where if, that could give the slight edge to Toronto if Durant comes back. I think it comes down to supporting cast. I mean, let's say we're drafting the players. Let's throw all the players in the middle right now. Your first 5 picks. Okay, number 1 would be
Kawhi. Kawhi is easily the number 1 pick.
Well, no, but he's in the first 2. He's in the first 2 picks.
Kawhi is the first pick. And that if you were drafting, if we are all GMs here, and
no, don't even start that, because 90% of the people are dumbass fucktards who are going to see a guy who can score points and can't be stopped and choose him first. Kevin Durant or Curry.
We're talking about who's playing right now.
Yeah, no, I am saying no.
Durant's not included.
No, he said throw all the players in there. All the players is all the players.
I didn't specify. I do mean Durant though. Yes,
I'm not including Durant in this.
Okay.
Well, I thought about who's playing tonight.
Oh yeah, no Durant. I mean, you got to go.
But the thing is, when you choose the top 6 players, 5 of them are from Golden State.
Well, absolutely. But I'm just saying, if you were to take the first player overall. And even with Durant there, it could be you could actually potentially argue for Kawhi to be first pick over Durant.
Kawhi 1 or 2nd. There we go. You're next.
But then everyone else is going to be
Durant,
the next.
Curry,
the next
Thompson,
5 picks
Green.
are going to be all obviously.
And then it gets to and then the 7th player. Then you just get. Do you prefer Iguodala's experience, even though he's older, or do you like Siakam's energy, even though he doesn't have the experience since the first series has done any of that? So even then, once you get to player 7, it still could be another Golden State guy.
Oh yeah, I mean. Clearly, Golden State from top to bottom is the better constructed team.
No.
I think they're a better constructed team.
They're not a better constructed team because their bench is completely dearth. They have Iguodala, but he's 36. They have
Looney
Stevenson.
and Bell have been playing relatively well.
They play great when they're surrounded by 4 all-stars and they have no pressure on them.
Yeah, but they don't really run a second unit kind of like that.
Well, but that's the thing is like they play 7. They play 7 people.
They play very much like Duke does. I'm sorry. He's played 7 deep.
But the 7 deep are not 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. The 7 deep are now at 35 and a 34-year-old with one bum knee with 3 operations and a 36-year-old who's being worn down because he's had to play like a starter for the past 4 postseasons. Yeah. Basically added an extra 100 games to his career.
Now, I know we're a lot more limited on time today, so another question I definitely want to get out there is is Kawhi staying or not? If he's not staying, where is he going?
I think it really genuinely depends on what happens in the series.
I disagree. I think he stays regardless, win or lose. Now, I honestly, I think it sound dumber, but I think Kawhi, he's not worried about the lights. Of course, he wants to be in LA, but he's, they were talking about today on the radio. I mean, dude's still got like a 99 Blazer that he's driving around or something. Yeah. I mean, he didn't sign with Jordan.
Klay Thompson's mom still shops for him.
In Toronto, if he wins, it will go Drake, Kawhi, all city officials below them.
I think if they win, it's Kawhi. Then
I think
Drake.
Kawhi. I think if Kawhi wins Toronto a championship, Kawhi leapfrogs Drake as far as what's going on in Toronto.
I mean, Kawhi almost becomes a hockey player at that point, as big of a star as he would be.
I think he stays regardless.
Almost, yes.
Well, that's a funny thing you bring up, too, is because, that's what things I've seen some funny memes about. Well, people like the Maple Leafs better than...
Oh, no, they do. I mean, this isn't even a competition. I mean, from an American standpoint, it's like, it's like Drake and Kawhi are the 2 biggest guys. It's like, no, from Canada, it's like every hockey player who's ever put on a Maple Leafs jersey, then Drake, and then Kawhi.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they might even choose other hockey players from different provinces possibly.
Because when I was living in Calgary, Joe McGinley, that was when he got traded.
Oh, I'm sure there was tears.
And it was like they wanted to revolt and riot. It was great. Loved it. But
I remember when Canada about shut down when Gretzky was traded to the Kings.
I can only imagine.
And that's I think either way he stays. Honestly, I just don't. Yeah, I think he likes it. I think he fits in. Like we talked about last episode, the Kawhi and dine with the things around him. I mean,
they offered him a $50 million condo and free food at every restaurant in all Toronto.
Lyft.
An attorney,
a Lyft and
company.
Uber, food, everything.
Yeah, and also actually on top of that, did you see that Kyrie Irving's 2 destinations, 2 top spots are reporting, is now the Lakers and the Nets, and that Kobe's openly recruiting Kyrie to come to the Lakers.
Does Kobe's internal ego preclude him from wanting Durant there? Because LeBron would like Durant with the Lakers.
Well, absolutely. I mean LeBron and Durant playing together, I think they win 3 championships together. Straight. And then LeBron retire. No, LeBron doesn't retire. He goes somewhere else.
Well, no,
to play with Bronny.
Who he has to go to whoever draft. We'll get into this as we get closer along, but if I am the team with the number 1 pick when Bronny comes out, I'm drafting him and telling LeBron, fuck you, play here. And then once you retire with my team, I will trade your son anywhere you want him to go. Yeah, but you are going to retire on my slack-ass, lousy-ass team. You're going to sell out my arena and sell my jerseys, and then I will trade your son wherever you want.
Purely based on what I've seen, Bronny's getting openly recruited by Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, already.
Did you see his Instagram post the other day?
He's that good, apparently.
It doesn't matter because the NBA's thing will be changed. He's going straight from high school to the NBA.
Well, you're right. Actually, at that point, by the time he's
1 year after the contract renegotiation,
and he's also you see that he's actually transferred to school to go play with D Wade's kid.
Buh. It's the dumbest thing. People are getting excited about that. There's 3 other NBA players or coaches' sons that are on that roster already.
It's a sweet sentiment though.
It's people are making it. It's like
and also Bronny.
You know what the uber rich people do? They hang out with other uber rich people.
This is very true.
It's like they go to 5 schools. It's like they're.
And then Bronny's on Instagram now. He signed up for Instagram 2 days ago or yesterday.
I mean, it's whatever.
You see his Taco Tuesday?
I saw a post where he's talking about fucking bitches and smoking weed. I'm like, bro, you're 14. That's oof.
Wait till you have the money to do that.
He already has the money to do that.
No, he has his dad's
He's got the name.
money.
Oh, he's got the name to do it.
I would have loved to see how that conversation went between LeBron and him. 14. If I had a 14-year-old and they were doing all that on Instagram, whew.
It's like, you notice how I haven't done any of that Instagram. You see all the stuff around us? That's how that happens.
Taco
he's getting into it now, but he's earned, like you said, he's, that's, man, I don't, that's weird. So I know we got to wrap it up on here. Blues game, Blues and Bruins, game 3. What is, the lines are minus 120.
I said Blues under.
I think Blues over because I can't see Boston having three teams holding the titles at the same time. This is completely arbitrary, nothing related to actually going on in hockey. So I'm just choosing that. And the Blues can't win it close; they have to win it big, or they have to score a lot of goals to do it.
I think Blues under. What are you
I don't know
saying?
how to follow that one up. I don't like either side.
I
but
don't make
do like
sense.
over
You can
5.
follow it with anything; it'll sound great.
I like over 5, and give me the Bruins. Over 5 and the Bruins. I'm not in love with either pick, but the Blues have been a pretty bad playoff team.
You said
at home.
Blues
over.
I don't have the record on me right now, but I know that the Blues have actually not been a very good home playoff.
This is going to be a
team.
double overtime 1-0 game.
And guess who wins that one? This guy again. I've been on fire, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. I have been fire on my picks.
I
Mostly
think
because
he's
he hasn't.
changed some of these. We haven't kept a record each.
Well, that's true,
each
but I think mostly it's
podcast.
because he has to actually put money on it, which is why he's winning them. Because it's here. This is the pusher man with the free one to get him to actually put some money down, and then he'll lose it.
Oh man. Closing thoughts on tonight's game. I mean, who's the big player? Who's I know we've had in our picks, but who's the game changer? And what's tomorrow's
Klay
story?
Thompson, 30 plus, 2 dribbles.
I just want to know how healthy Leonard is. He looked kind of banged up after that Game 7.
Does it matter? I mean, that's the thing that's weird about that is like they give him that cyborg thing because of the lack of emotions, but I think it's a cyborg thing because he doesn't actually break.
Yeah, well, obviously he does break. Last time he played the Warriors in a meaningful playoff game, he was injured enough for almost 2 years. So, I mean, clearly he can get broken. I generally think, honestly, this whole series is going to come down to health. The fact that, honestly, the Warriors are now playing their 5th straight finals, they got to be worn out somewhat. Like look at LeBron. He broke down after 8 straight finals, but LeBron's also kind of a different animal in that whole thing. So, like, I think it's going to be boiled down to health and how well Kawhi stays healthy in the series.
I'd say quite enough, and Kawhi is not enough to beat the Golden State Warriors tonight, and Warriors take Game 1.
I think. Well, we'll see. I think Toronto takes Game 1, and I actually. How about series prediction? We're going to go ahead and do series prediction. I think Toronto wins in 7.
I'm stuck with my saying that the team with the best records conference wins, so it's
Golden
Toronto
State
now.
6.
Golden State 6, and you say Toronto.
Because they're the team with the.
Are you going to throw a number out there?
If they win 5, I'm saying Toronto in 5.
Toronto in 5. All right, guys. Well, this is
Toronto
John.
wins in 5. I will shave my back live on air.
This is.
I don't want to see that.
Live on air, this back will be shaved.
All right, guys,
Toronto wins in 5.
This is John Simon with Simon Says Ew. Any closing marks, guys? You want to pitch your social media or anything?
If Toronto wins in 5, Jere, cheem on me.
Chima on him. Ooh, I love
If
Chima.
Golden State wins in 6, just buy me a slice of pizza across the street.
I can do that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Once you try their pizza, you're gonna definitely want that pizza more often. By the way, guys, once again, check out Sapienza Pizzeria off the corner of Church and 9th Street in Charlotte, uptown Charlotte, North Carolina. They have delicious, delicious bacon ranch pizza, by the way, and a meat lovers. Anyways, everyone have a great evening. Go Toronto.